Now, my friends, I don't believe in being a bully. I don't believe on picking on people just because maybe there's something wrong with them physically. They could be handicapped. Maybe they're mentally handicapped in some way. I used to have a summer job working with people that were mentally handicapped, and those people don't choose that. It's not their fault. Just like a lot of short people or people that are not good looking or people that are not athletic, they don't choose that, so I don't believe in picking on them. Thankfully, the Lord, for whatever reason, decided to bless me being tall, with a face, with a good body, being a great athlete, having good intellect. I don't know why I was chosen, but not everyone is blessed with those gifts, and I don't believe it's right to pick on people that don't have those same blessings as me. Now, that being said, we are going to bash a nerd today, but we have a good reason for bashing this nerd, and that reason is he's evil. Now, part of the reason we got to bash and make fun of this Joker is because more and more people are catching on that he's a joke, but if we help laugh at this guy, it takes away all his power, what little influence he does have, and this guy's being funded by billionaires in order to be their mouthpiece and influence us. And the guy I'm talking about is that little dork, Ben Shapiro. Now, the first time I saw this guy, I was watching some TV show. This is maybe 4 years ago. And these clips, they were playing all over TV news shows of him. He was on some news show with a transgender having kind of a debate. And he was threatened. This transgender threatened to fight him, and he cowered like the little wimp that he is. And they were telling us this guy's a conservative leader. He's some sort of conservative or right-wing leader. And I was thinking, this guy's a conservative or a right-winger? Now, I don't want to stereotype, but there is a general association that, and this isn't always true, that most people that are more right-wing, they tend to be a bit more macho, a bit more masculine, and I couldn't figure it out. You have this little guy, this little nerdy Poindexter guy, and he's cowering from some dude in a dress that is threatening to beat him up. This guy's cowering. I'm like, this guy's supposed to be some sort of conservative or right-wing leader. It did make sense to me. And then I was thinking about, why does he have all this animosity towards that other dude in the dress? And then recently I came across this photo. Check this out. What is this? He's transitioning himself. Ben Shapiro has man boobs. This little soy boy out in a t-shirt showing off his boobs. Now, we'll get to more of that in a little bit because there's some relevant points to bring up. But he's also had a video going viral this week. Let's take a look at it.
Well, the fact is that if you had to work more than one job to have a roof over your head or food on the table, you probably shouldn't have taken the job that's not paying you enough. That'd be a you problem.
Wow, that's a you problem. This coming from a guy who, for years, he's been advocating policies that's going to lower the wages of the average American. And then he's going to get on his platform, a guy that's born rich, and he's going to say, well, if you need to work more than one job to make ends meet, that's a you problem. Look, a lot of people weren't born rich, and they weren't selected by billionaires. They don't have those kinds of connections to get a cushy job like yours, where you're not even good at your own job. And as far as all these alt-right guys are, he's not even one of the more popular ones. Recently, in one of my other videos talking about this clown, someone said, "What do you know? You only have 400 subscribers." Well, this is my second channel. On my main channel, I have a video that has about 220 million views. On the Daily Wire's official channel, they only have, with all their videos combined, about 20 million views. Last time I checked a couple weeks ago. And that's pretty pathetic for someone that gets all this mainstream attention and is funded by billionaires. They're putting all this money into it, and you can't even do better than that? Here I am. I'm coming to you from my $300 a month apartment, and I'm reaching you. I'm reaching thousands on my main channel. I reach millions of views. I reach millions of people per month. Now, unlike Shapiro, I am not funded by billionaires, and in fact, this channel's not even monetized at all. So everyone that wants to contribute, you can do so through PayPal. Just PayPal to poolboyfilms@gmail.com, and me and my family do appreciate it. And this guy who's being forced upon us, partly because they picked a guy with no personality and that is not good at his job whatsoever, they can't get this guy to stick. He's really not that influential. But here he is saying that that's a you problem. Like I said, this guy, he's been advocating years that are going to lower the wages. And he's also advocating wars that don't benefit Americans. They benefit him and his people, and he wants us to go die for him and his people. Not only that, but our tax dollars. Maybe if we didn't have to pay for all that, maybe we could lower people's taxes and they wouldn't have to work a second job. Not only that, but this guy, I don't understand why white Christians would support this guy, because everything he advocates, and this is his job, to subvert, to make you think he's on our side. Everything he advocates is bad for you if you're white or if you're a Christian. All the wars he wants us to fight, he wants you to go and fight a war for people that are not part of our country, not even part of the same faith as us, people that literally reject the Christian God. He rejects the Christian God. Ben Shapiro is literally anti-Christ. He's against Christ, and he's against Christ's teachings. Even atheists, many of them, like Adam Carolla, they're not outwardly anti-Christ. They're not against Christ. They just don't believe in him and are indifferent to him. Now let's take a look at another video to see how this guy is on our side.
You would agree that racism exists.
Of course, there are
people that are legitimate racists.
It would be idiotic to think otherwise. Of course, there are legitimate racists, and we should target them, and we should find them, and we should hurt their career.
You hear that? He wants to target people and hurt their careers just for having certain beliefs or certain ideas, or for practicing free speech, unpopular speech that he doesn't agree with. He wants to hurt people's career and hurt people's finances. And this word racist, what does that even mean anyways? A lot of people are called a racist. A lot of the times I've been speaking out publicly against this guy, and people call me an anti-Semite. Well, what does that mean? That's not an argument against anything I'm saying. That's just slandering me. That's just attaching a label on me to try and say I'm a bad guy and you shouldn't listen to my ideas, because he can't argue against them. And in terms of racist, one of the things that I've been hearing from far left people is that Ben Shapiro is like a Nazi. And for a long time I couldn't figure this out, because I'm like, well, this guy's Jewish. It's kind of crazy to call him a Nazi. But then if you look into what he believes and what he advocates, what he believes in and advocates is actually closer to at least the Hollywood version of Nazis. Ben Shapiro himself is a racial supremacist, and he's advocating for these wars that, by the way, he's not going to fight in them, and his children, no one in his family is going to fight in them, and they're not going to pay for them either, but they're sure as heck ain't going to fight in these wars. So it's easy for him to advocate to send people of a different religion, a different ethnicity than himself, to go fight and die for his people and foot the bill on top of it. But this guy, going back to the beginning, he's been advocating anyone that poses even the slightest bit of opposition or threat to his country, he wants them taken out. He wants the United States military to fight their battles for him. And if you would go back to this picture here, you see how soft he is. This is a guy that has had no resistance in his life. And he's not going to debate someone like me. He's not going to debate someone that's going to challenge him. That's why he's going to go after those crazy feminists or those really insane far left-wing people that everyone can agree is a bit nutty. Look at what happened when he got some resistance when he went on the BBC. So when someone starts asking him real questions, the guy acted like a baby. He couldn't handle it, so he walked off. And ending up with no resistance, that's how you end up with man-boobs like this. Me, last night, I went to the gym in my neighborhood, and it's a gym that they just raised their prices. It did cost a little bit less than $1. Now it's a little bit more than $1. But I had resistance. I'd put weight on the bar and I'd do those bench presses. That's why I have pecs as opposed to the man boobs. Pushing against resistance. And he doesn't have resistance either physically, intellectually, financially, because this guy comes from money, and now he just had the right connections. It shows you how important connections are in life to get places. And not everyone is that money oriented. To him, he thinks he's superior because he makes more money than other people. He's somehow part of a chosen people, is what he believes. And he doesn't understand how the average American thinks, and he doesn't care. He's letting that slip when he's saying that's a you problem. So the bottom line is, though, even though people like this guy are born rich, or Ivana Trump, or whoever, any of these elites like that the main thing is, keep in mind, they're not on our side. They're not going to advocate policies that benefit us most of the time. But that's their blessing too. We shouldn't be angry. We shouldn't be upset or jealous that they have money and we don't. Because look how much better off I am. I'm tall, I'm good looking, I'm smart, I have a great family. Even though I'm thankful for what I have, I'm thankful that I go to that gym and I have the time to work out. I pay my dollar going to the gym. I'm coming to you, still reaching you from this humble $300 a month apartment. And I'm also thankful that I don't have man boobs. Not to mention my son, who's a baby, who's only a matter of months old. He's already taller than Shapiro. So go ahead, leave a comment, and be sure to check out the other videos.